If you're moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, and you're looking for a neighborhood that is walkable, then you are in the right place. So I'm going to share with you 10 neighborhoods in Charlotte where you can walk outside your front door. You can grab a coffee, drinks, dinner, and never even have to move your car. And stick around because I'm also going to share with you a few neighborhoods that fit this category really well. However, they're never mentioned. So let's jump in. South End is the neighborhood I imagine most people will say is Charlotte's most walkable. And while I agree in a lot of ways, it doesn't really make the top of my list when I have clients looking for walkability. And I will circle back to that in a second. But first, let's talk about what it's like to live here, because this is a really cool section of town. South End is the definition of a live, work, play neighborhood. It is very trendy and it is very youthful. You can head out your door and within seconds be surrounded by the city's best restaurants, nightlife, all of your conveniences like fitness classes and grocery stores right in the neighborhood. And if you work uptown, this is the best place to live. So South End is located just south of Uptown, and over the last few years, it's essentially become an extension of Uptown. So if you work up there, which a lot of people do, you can easily walk, bike, or take the light rail to work. And the light rail is our commuter train. It runs through South End all the way through Uptown. And then running right parallel to it is the rail trail. So this is a paved trail that is always packed with people, either commuting, exercising, walking their dogs, or just hopping to one section or the other. So now let's circle back to why this neighborhood doesn't make the top of my list for clients looking for walkability. So even though this neighborhood is just lovely and great, unfortunately, there's not a lot of options if you're looking to buy property. You won't find any single family houses in South End proper. It's mainly going to be made up of condos, townhomes, and apartments. The majority are going to be apartments. Now, the condos are going to have a very industrial, kind of modern aesthetic. The median price for a condo is around $383,000, though they can climb into the millions depending on the size and upgrade. So most of the townhomes will have a very similar modern aesthetic. You've got a lot of three-story townhomes. A lot of them have garages, which is excellent because that's not very common close to the city. And they're going to be on the newer side. So most of the townhome complexes have been built in the last 5 years or so. But you do have a couple of older townhome communities. And by older, I mean they were built in the very early 2000s. Townhomes sit around $562,000. Now, if you do love this area, but maybe you want a single family home, or you're looking for an area maybe more mature and sophisticated, I do have a couple of options for you. So the first option is one of those not so talked about areas, and this neighborhood is called Wilmore. It's located just west of South End, and most people assume this is South End, but it's actually not. It's its own neighborhood, and it is quite small, so that could be one of the big reasons that it gets overlooked a lot. So Wilmore is a designated historic district, so you'll notice the majority of the houses here were built in the early 1900s. Family houses in Wilmore have a median home price of around $700,000. Townhomes are going to sit around $698,000. And fun fact, Wilmore was actually home to 2 of Charlotte's gold mines. So if you buy a house there, you might get lucky. However, if you are looking for more options and more variety in housing, then all you have to do is go to the other side of South End. Dilworth is arguably one of the most well-known and sought-after neighborhoods in all of Charlotte. Living here, you're going to have walkability, beautiful homes, high-rated schools, and access to multiple parks. This neighborhood is going to feel a lot more calm and residential compared to Uptown and South End, even though it's going to border both of them. And the great thing is that you are so close to both of these areas that if you are wanting that kind of high-energy city life, it is just walking distance from you. And aside from the location, the other reason that this neighborhood draws so many people is how beautiful it is. So it has a very classic, established feel. You've got tree-lined streets, big front porches, and tons of charm and character. And most importantly, it is incredibly walkable. So not only can you have access to everything in South End just by walking there, within Dilworth, you have some of the city's most iconic staples. Now, as far as housing in Dilworth, a section of it is in the historic district, so you are going to find some older houses built in the early 1900s. That's kind of what people think of when they think of Dilworth. They think of these really cool, beautiful craftsman-style houses with huge front porches and lots of character. But the great thing about Dilworth is that you do have variety, because only a section of it is in the historic district. So if you go outside that section, you're going to find brand new houses. Some of them will kind of lean to that craftsman style, but you also have some ultra-modern houses here as well. Now that said, because you have so much variety in housing, you're also going to have variety in pricing. As far as pricing, you can get an older, smaller home in Dilworth in the 700s, but if you're looking for something bigger and newer, you're getting well into the 1.4 million range. Condos in Dilworth have a median home price of around $380,000, and townhomes sit around $812,000. Next up is Uptown. This is Charlotte's central business district, and it absolutely checks all the boxes when it comes to walkability. You've got restaurants, bars, parks, entertainment, entertainment venues, museums, major sports arenas, all packed into a dense walkable grid. Uptown is located in the center of Charlotte, sometimes referred to as City Center, and it's made up of 4 different wards. Now, I do want to give you a quick disclaimer about living in Uptown. So even though it is a great place to live, I have noticed lately it does seem to have slowed down a bit after hours and during special events. Certainly doesn't become a dead zone. I just feel like there are other areas in Charlotte that are more consistently active and livable. But the good thing about Uptown is that you do have access to the light rail, so you can really get anywhere very easily. Now, as far as housing, Uptown will have your highest concentration of high-rise condos. So if you're looking for skyline views and ultra amenities, this is your place. The price for a condo is really going to range. You can get a small studio for around $200,000, but depending on the size and upgrades, it can get up to $2 million. Median price for a townhome is $550,000. And you will have some options for single-family houses as well. You're not going to have as many as condos and townhomes, and they really don't hit the market that often. If they do hit the market, they're typically around $915,000. Now, if you're someone who wants to live near Uptown but not in Uptown, maybe you're looking for more of a residential vibe, but less traffic, more green space, then I have the perfect neighborhood for you. And it's one of those that never gets talked about. So Wesley Heights is located just next to Uptown. You can walk there, you can bike there, you can even take the streetcar there. And the neighborhood is going to feel completely different than Uptown. So it's kind of like you've got this peaceful little residential pocket. In addition to Fraser Park, which is right in the middle of the neighborhood, you're also going to have access to 2 greenways. So if you're not familiar with a greenway, this is a walking and biking trail. It connects different parts of the city and neighborhoods. There's usually little parks connected to them. They're all throughout Charlotte. And 2 of my favorite are actually located in Wesley Heights. One of them takes you all the way to the Panther Stadium. So this is one of the few places in Charlotte that you can live right next to a park and right next to a skyscraper. And not to mention, Wesley Heights has a really great food and brewery scene in its own right. So you've got awesome restaurants, cafes, fitness studios. It really gives you the best of both worlds. Now, as far as housing, most of Wesley Heights is in a historic district. So you're going to find a lot of those same kind of craftsman bungalow style homes, but you do have some option for new construction. The median price for a single family home in Wesley Heights is around $750,000. Townhomes go for $560,000 and condos are $455,000. Next up, if you're looking for a walkable neighborhood that's a bit more laid back, a little artistic, I would definitely check out NoDa. So living here is going to feel very casual and very creative. This neighborhood has a lot of personality and everything is pretty walkable, especially along North Davidson Street and 36th Street. We're gonna have a ton of great restaurants, cafes, bars, and music venues. And there's some really unique shops, and you have street vendors lining the streets in the evenings. And there's always something happening here, whether it be a comedy show, a live music event, or just catching a movie at the independent movie house. You cannot be bored living here. And another major perk of living in NoDa is the light rail. So the 36th Street station drops you off right in the heart of NoDa. You can get straight to Uptown, South End, even University area. So it's very possible to live here without needing a car. Now, as far as housing goes, NoDa is going to have a mix of old and new. So you're going to find everything from old mill houses from the 1900s. A lot of them have been really creatively restored. You're also going to have some really cool, unique new construction houses. The housing styles really match NoDa's cool, funky energy. So the median price for a single family house in NoDa is going to be around $735,000. Condos sit around $434,000 and townhomes sit around $522,000. So if you like that same kind of energy, but maybe you're looking for something a bit more residential and established, then I would check out Plaza Midwood. So it's going to have that same kind of laid back, casual energy, but unlike NoDa, that's really surrounded by a lot of industrial areas still. Plaza Midwood is going to be more so surrounded by residential neighborhoods. And it's very eclectic. So you have everything here from cocktail lounges to dive bars, old school diners to chef-driven restaurants. You've got multiple coffee shops, breweries, even a couple of rooftop bars. Now, in addition to Plaza Midwood just being really cool and having a lot of options for entertainment, it's also a great location. So it's located about 10 minutes from Uptown and it's only a few minute drive from Elizabeth and NoDa. Now, as far as the housing in Plaza Midwood, it's going to be similar to NoDa where you kind of have this eclectic mix of old and new. However, you are going to have a bigger residential footprint in Plaza Midwood. A section of it is in a designated historic district, so it is more common to find older craftsman style bungalows as opposed to the new construction houses. The median price for a single family house is around $960,000. Townhomes sit around $845,000 and condos sit around $875,000. And by the way, if you're new here, my name is Milena. I'm a local Charlotte realtor. I've helped a lot of people relocate to this city. If you're looking to buy a house or sell a house, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd absolutely love to help you. Here's all my information. It's also down below in the description. Next up, just south of Plaza Midwood, you have Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is going to be right next to Uptown. So the general vibe of Elizabeth is going to be very similar to Dilworth. It's one of Charlotte's oldest neighborhoods. So you're going to have those kind of tree-lined streets, historic, charming houses, but it's going to be a bit more tucked away. It's also smaller and quieter, and that's part of what gives it so much character. And Elizabeth is walkable in a really local way. So you're surrounded by some of Charlotte's best coffee shops. You've got People's Market, which is a great place to work remote from. Fig Tree is great for date night. And then you have the Crunkleton, which has some of the best cocktails in all of Charlotte. And what's great about Elizabeth is that you have the Gold Line streetcar running to the neighborhood, and that can take you directly to Uptown. So it's another neighborhood that's great for commuting. You also have a lot of our major medical facilities really close by. So NoDa Presbyterian is actually located in Elizabeth. You're also minutes from Wake Forest and Atrium, which is our other main hospital. My doctor clients really love Elizabeth for its proximity and, of course, the beautiful houses. So Elizabeth is going to be predominantly made up of single family houses. You see a lot of bungalows, cottages, a few colonials, and the occasional new construction. Prices range from the low 800s up to around 1.3 million. Townhomes sit around 780,000, where condos sit around 465,000. So I'm going to give you two more not talked about walkable neighborhoods. So the first one is Madison Park, and this is a South Charlotte neighborhood that is very cozy, very suburban, and very connected. You're pretty much a 10-15 minute drive from absolutely anywhere in Charlotte that you would want to be. And even though the location is a huge selling point, what really seals the deal is what is actually in Madison Park. This neighborhood is filled with a ton of restaurants, bars, and entertainment, from bowling alleys, karaoke bars, and even a movie theater. And on top of that, you have all of your conveniences. So you've got Harris Teeter, you've got pharmacies, you've got an urgent care, you've got Total Wine. You really never have to leave. And when it comes to housing in Madison Park, you've got a lot of mid-century style houses, some new construction, and townhomes. The median price for a single family house in Madison Park is around $640,000. Townhomes run about $650,000. Next up, we are going to completely change directions. So you may have noticed a lot of these neighborhoods are on the older side. So this next neighborhood I'm going to tell you about is actually a bit newer. The houses were built in the early 2000s. So Birkdale Village is located in Huntersville. This is going to be about 25 minutes north of Uptown Charlotte and right next to Lake Norman. So if you're looking for more of a traditional suburban lifestyle, but you still want walkability, still want to be able to walk to restaurants and events and shopping, then this neighborhood is excellent. And since it's so close to Lake Norman, it kind of has this really elegant coastal charm aesthetic. It's just a very beautiful neighborhood, and it's very walkable. So along the main strip, you of course are going to have your restaurants, cafes, you have a movie theater, you've got boutiques. But what I think is really cool about Birkdale Village is, one, a lot of the restaurants that started in Charlotte, the kind of local trendy restaurants, opened up sister locations at Birkdale Village. So it's kind of like a little bit of a replica of South End in a lot of ways, but maybe more mature and, more family oriented. The neighborhood also hosts a lot of events. You have everything from farmers markets, outdoor fitness classes, festivals. They do a whole lot, and a lot of it is going to be very family focused. When it comes to housing in Birkdale Village, the median price for a single family home sits around $696,000. The median price for a townhome is around $408,000. And these houses are going to have that same kind of coastal charm, low country aesthetic as the rest of the neighborhood. And there are so many other neighborhoods and areas in Charlotte that are really great, but just often get overlooked. So if you're interested in learning about some more, check out this video here. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to connecting.